Okay, today I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to prep for your next job interview. If you're trying to prep for one of those star stories that interviewers often ask, a lot of times you mumble around and don't know what to say. And so it's a good idea to prep for one of these stories using ChatGPT. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how to prep for a secret interview question that I guarantee you're going to get. Most people don't prep for it, and you always sound and feel stupid when you don't have a good answer for it. So recently, I had an interview to move up within my company, and so I looked online and found some different prompts. And what I noticed was that the answers you get are really not very good. So what I did for this is I went and did the same thing. I found this prompt here that says, "You are an expert career coach. I am prepping for a job promotion interview at my company. Help me practice answering interview questions using the STAR method. Provide a series of questions where I can respond using this format and give me feedback on how I can improve my answers. Tailor these questions to a production lead role in the manufacturing industry." So this is the prompt here, and then the last bit where I said production lead role in manufacturing, that was just something that I came up with for this video here. You can put anything in your. If you use a prompt like this, I know a lot of people call themselves prompt engineers and they seem really proud of that, but you really just get very boring answers that are not going to impress anybody. So I have already asked ChatGPT this. I put in my story and, it gave me a pretty decent answer. It basically said, okay, for manufacturing, here are some different practice questions. And, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically what it's telling me is give me a scenario and I'm going to help you put it into a star format. So what I did is I took kind of a real life story and changed it around just a little bit, and I fed it into the chat. So basically it was just the gist of the story is that I had to help two people at once. One of the people had some VIPs that were right there, and so I kind of had to take care of them first and then go back to the first thing I was doing, and everybody was fine in the end. Not a big deal. It's not a very interesting story, but in an interview, if you don't have anything, sometimes you need to take just the most basic thing that you've done and turn it into a star story. The interviewers want to know that you can problem solve, and that's really what this is about. This is not about coming up with the best star story. You might work a really boring job. You might not have any great stories, but with using chat, you can take a boring story and you can make it sound a little better. So I put in my story here, and what it gave back to me was, a pretty decent answer. Your original answer simplified is one of the answers here. You were helping a coworker, another came with a more urgent task, and then you shifted focus to help the second coworker. In the end, everyone was helped, and the pressure from upper management was managed. Okay, that's fine, but like I said, it's a little bit cookie cutter, and it's not very exciting. And the goal of answering these questions is to sound like yourself, not sound like some robot gave you an answer from the internet and you memorized it. So, here it put it into the STAR format and explains, what situation, task, action, and result, what the different letters of STAR mean and what they mean within this story. And it even gave me some ways to improve. I could add numbers, time frames, call out soft skills, and things like that. So I could definitely go on and add some details and probably get something a little bit better than this sort of prompt thing that I found, which on the article where I found this prompt, they didn't really mention to do anything else. It just was listed as is, and here's a fancy prompt to use. This answer is okay. It's not really anything special. So to figure out a better way to do it, let's go ahead and open up another chat window. In the first chat, I was using a temporary chat. The reason for that is because I always talk to my ChatGPT in this sort of manner, no matter what it is I want to learn. So it kind of has gotten to, quote, know me a little bit. So I didn't really want to put in that prompt in my regular chat because I might not get the right answer, which is the point of the video. If you know how to sort of talk to ChatGPT in a little bit different way rather than just prompt engineering, you're going to get really good answers. So this time I'm logged in, and this time I also am talking to ChatGPT like I recommend that you do, which is like a friend. I have my same story here, but I started off, what up, homie? I'm needing a star story. Can you help me not sound like a robot? That's the way I talk. Just for fun, and it just keeps it light. You don't have to talk like that. You don't have to copy me. This is not a prompt. The point I'm trying to get across here is to talk the way you talk and stop thinking about prompts so much and the perfect prompt. Because if you talk to this like it's your friend who knows everything, you're going to get way better results. And at the end, I said, also, can you make it sound like me? I figure if they don't want me, then I'm not here to sell them on somebody that I'm not. And basically, I've had a lot of job interviews where I tried to answer in a way that I thought that the interviewer would want to hear. Recently, though, when I sort of used this method, I was able to really quickly come up with some good stories that I could tell in a way that was me. It felt like genuine me, and I thought if I didn't get the job, then it wasn't anything I was going to worry about. I was at least happy with my interview. Most interviews I have not been happy with in the past, so now I have my answer here for my star story, so let's see what we can get out of it. As you can see, chat responds with, "What up, big dog? Heck yeah, I can help you with that." Maybe that's silly to some people. To me, it's fun. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to a robot when I ask questions, so this is the way I do it. Again, you don't have to do it like this. You don't have to call it G and homie. It's just what I do. But you can definitely talk more like you talk in your daily life rather than trying to find some magic prompt, is the kind of takeaway here. So it took my story and it, again, put it into a star format. So this happened recently at work, just a regular day, but of course everything hit at once. I was already helping a coworker with an issue, and right in the middle of that, another teammate came over needing some help too. He had leadership breathing down his neck, so I had to figure out how to prioritize without leaving anyone hanging. So when I read through this answer, this is more like I talk. It's just really casual and, it's not fancy. I don't really believe in trying to use a lot of big fancy words. It's not the way I am. I just prefer to talk in a really simple way. And so during a job interview isn't any different. I'm not going to sound like an idiot, of course, but I want to be conversational when I'm answering questions. And then so basically, it's given me this answer. If you notice down here at the bottom, it says that's one clean, simple, and sounds like you. Want to tweak the tone to sound more professional and more casual. So this is, to me, the real power of ChatGPT, sort of the way that I use it. And I know that you can use it anyway, and it will give suggestions down here. I understand that. But more the point I'm making is that since I talk to it like a person all the time, no matter what I'm talking to it about, it does sort of, quote, know me and is able to capture my essence a little bit better. And so it's going to give me a better star story. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit to this really quick. Okay, so I went ahead and typed out a little response here. I said, heck yeah, boy, let's just make it a bit more fun and casual. I'm not exactly up for any jobs at as a college professor, right? So, I'm just trying to show you sort of how this works more than trying to be hilarious here. Okay, so with that in mind, now I get another answer. So this was a classic everything hits at once kind of moment. I was already helping a coworker with an issue when another teammate rolled up needing help with something totally different at the same time, of course. Honestly, this is how I talk. Will I say this word for word in a job interview? I might not, but the point that I'm trying to make more is if I take this, I can take a story that's mine and I can memorize it with this really simple, not so dry language that you get from a regular prompt. It has my personality into it, and then I can just tweak little sentences here and there if I want. And ultimately what I'm going to get is an answer that I can give to them that feels like it's authentic me, and I'm letting them know who I am, how I handle situations, and I'm telling them this is the person that you may hire. If they're looking for someone else, then they're looking for someone else. I don't take it personally. I gave it my all, and I was me. And that's really what I'm trying to talk about here, is not prompt engineering or that you got to call your ChatGPT, what up, homie, big dog, or anything like that. I'm trying to paint a picture that if you just use it a little bit more like a friend and a little bit less like a robot, you will get much better answers. Finally, I promised you at the beginning that I would help you prep for a secret interview question. And of course, that question is, do you have any questions for us? The last time I did have a job interview, they asked this, and I was actually not prepared for it. I said, nope, like a dummy, and I felt like a moron. 5 minutes later, I had 100 different things I could have asked, but it was too late. So this is one that you'll want to spend a little bit of time prompting for. So I've already prepared a little, I'm saying, okay, this is great. I know they were going to ask me the dreaded question. Do you have any questions for us? I never do, but I should. What are some possible answers for this lamest of questions? Okay, so let's see what we can get. Oh man, that question is the lamest. I mean, honestly, this is gold right here. I'm talking to a robot that doesn't feel like a robot, And that goes a really long way with me. This is what it's all about for me. I can learn things in a really sort of chill atmosphere. So it's given me some questions I could ask. What does a successful first 90 days look like in this role? That's a good question. What do your best team members tend to have in common? What kind of support or training is in place when someone's learning a new part of the job? What do you like most about working here? That's good. Put them on the spot. Make them go, I don't know, because they probably don't have an answer for this either. What's something people don't always realize about this job or team until they've been here a while? These are honestly really good. I can tell you from personal experience, I wouldn't have thought of any of these. I would have thought of none of these. And what I in fact would have said was, no, I don't have any questions, and walked away feeling like a moron. So next time you have a job interview and you want to try to prep for it, think twice about using some scientifically proven, super fancy guru prompt that is going to give you answers that are honestly not going to impress anybody. Go to your ChatGPT, be yourself, try not to be anything else other than yourself, and just tell it what you want and answer its questions. And I'm 100% sure that you'll get way better answers than if you just used a simple prompt. And finally, my last bonus is do this for every single thing that you use ChatGPT for. No matter what you're trying to learn, ask a lot of questions, and don't think about prompts. Just think about someone who wants to know something and doesn't know it, and you will learn everything you could imagine.